We in the CNPS are known to be critical of mainstream science. We are often asked about the latest quote-unquote discoveries of science. One question we often get is about the Higgs boson. Although he is not a member of the CNPS, Dr. Alexander Unzicker is a physicist and author who is very critical of particle physics, and in particular the Higgs boson. His book, The Higgs Fake, How Particle Physics Fooled the Nobel Committee, is a great example of how some scientists today are challenging the very foundations of mainstream science. Dr. Unzicker says in the beginning of one of his lectures, to call the Higgs boson the discovery of the century is preposterous. The Standard Model is a particle zoo, and Unzicker says, it annoys me too much to see another generation of young scientists deterred by a dumb, messy patchwork called the Standard Model. I'm going to argue that particle physics as practiced since 1930 is a futile enterprise in its entirety. We are going to go through Unzicker's 7 deadly sins for particle physics. Number 1, overwhelming complication. He said, good physics is simple. The number of variables in the Standard Model is ridiculously high. Number 2, suppression of basic problems. None of the great riddles of physics that have persisted for a century have been solved. Number 3, historical ignorance. We are in the midst of a scientific crisis. That is, our current system has gone nowhere for so long, it is now obvious that something radically different must come along. Number 4, the there is always a signal illusion. Unzicker says that scientists fool themselves by filtering more and more noise, and what is left will always be the answer. Number 5, theoretical wishful thinking. An arbitrary meaning is given to the most uninteresting phenomena. Today we have bottomness, hypercharge, strangeness, isospin. Particles are these little packages with these labels. To call all particle a conglomeration of labels is a psychological displacement of how much one has distanced themselves from reason. Number 6, the Big Parody. We are too many to be in error. Opinions are established by groupthink. Everything is kept alive by giant infusions of cash, but there are no end results. Big science may in fact destroy great science. Number 7, lack of transparency. It is impossible to check the results from raw data. That means we must rely on the scientist's word that what they say is true. So, what do we do? Dr. Unzicker suggests we need freedom. Simple as that. We don't need censorship. Obviously, something has gone wrong. Some established concepts are not reasonable. We need to define new criteria for scientific evidence. And that is one of the many important reasons the CNPS exists. The John Chappell Natural Philosophy Society, Restoring Critical Thinking. You can find us at www.naturalphilosophy.org. Thanks.